Good afternoon, cruisers, and welcome to another Cruising YouTube Live with me, yours truly, Bill Panoff, and Cruise Control. I've been 40 years in the cruise business. I started off, as you all know, as a magician on cruise ships, then became a cruise director for 12 years, and now editor-in-chief and founder of Porthole Cruise and Travel magazine. And welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we are thrilled to have with us CruiseTipsTV. Sheri, an old friend, a great influence in the cruise industry. Sheri is an avid cruiser who aspires travelers to create their dream voyages, and we'll be taking questions throughout the YouTube Live. So we encourage you to leave your comments below. And without further ado, here she is in living color. Sheri, how are you?
Bill, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Nice
Doing
to see.
awesome.
Wow, you are colorful. You look like you just got off a cruise.
Yeah, you gotta dress for the job you want, right?
Wow, yeah, amazing, amazing. So tell me, I mean, you've been cruising quite frequently in the last couple of months. First of all, what are your weekend plans? Are you going to take a short cruise this weekend?
Oh, I wish I was doing that. I'm doing laundry and gardening and just the
Oh,
things around the home.
okay. Well, this year has been really big for cruising worldwide, and the first cruise of 2022, I want to share some of the highlights of your cruise. You're on the Discovery Princess, which is an amazing vessel. Some of the features that most really stick out in your mind, for example, on that ship. What do you
Oh,
remember most about that voyage?
oh my goodness. Discovery Princess was wonderful. I only visited for one day, but I'd love to get on a full
Oh,
voyage. It was such a beautiful ship. The first thing that really stood out to me was the amount of space everywhere you went. So, whether it was out on the pool deck and you had those kind of double wide staircases to the ultra wide jogging track
wow.
to that World Fresh Marketplace, which is their buffet restaurant, so incredibly spacious and well laid out with different nooks for different types of foods. And when I was
Uh-huh.
on the ship that day, they were experimenting with single serve
Oh, wow.
food. Yeah, it was really cool. So instead of having to touch the handles and scoop stuff out, you were able to grab like a little dish of something, and it just had this beautiful elevated look to it. So that was a real standout. One of my favorite spots on the ship too, and what's making me really want to go back on a full sailing, was that Aft Infinity Pool on Discovery Princess.
I've heard
Is
about it. Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah, beautiful.
And to get
Absolutely.
around Princess, I mean, it's a seamless experience. They give you the medallion. They're light years ahead of many in the cruise industry with their technology. And the medallion opens your cabin door. You can use it for onboard purchases. You can use it for purchases ashore in certain ports. It's phenomenal.
Oh man, I tell you. And once you take a medallion class cruise, you really get hooked. And I feel like, you might go on another cruise line and think, wait a minute, my door's not automatically opening for me. I can't order a drink anywhere on the ship. What is this? It is just the ultimate inconvenience. And they've even made it fashionable, right? Like you can get a little medallion to wear around your neck. You can have a wristband. You can wear it as a clip. You can just slide it in your pocket. It's such a cool thing.
And it remembers your purchases. I mean, imagine if you like pina coladas the next day, the waiter or the server will know that you like pina coladas and he will offer you one. So it's really, it exceeds the expectations of the guests in terms of the purchases and the entire cruise experience.
It does. I love that too. I think it's such a neat thing. And I know that they're fine tuning it, but there's so much potential within the app too, whether it's finding other cruisers in your
Sure.
party, or finding your way around the ship, or even the check in process. I think there's just so much great potential there. So
Sure.
exciting.
We have some people that have tuned in. We've got Palmer at home, all the way from New Zealand, who is listening to. Thanks for tuning in from New Zealand. We've got Christian all the way from Mexico City. Wow. Yeah, Mexico is a big market for cruisers. A lot of Mexicans love to cruise, and there are many direct flights from Mexico City to the ports like LA or Miami to board various cruises. I know you cruised on Carnival, on the Miracle in particular this year. What can you share about your experience on the Carnival Miracle?
Oh my goodness. So that ship is really special to us. Now, it is an older ship. It's a
Right.
Spirit class ship, right? I think it was built back in 2004. It's only about 88,000 gross tons, so a lot
Uh-huh.
smaller than those mega ships. But it is such a special ship. And one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that the ship actually underwent a 2.0 Carnival makeover. I think it was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And it has all the bells and whistles. It has Guy's Burgers. It has the Waterworks water slides.
Sure.
It has the Blue Iguana Cantina, the Red Frog Rum Bar, so many different things. So you can have that sort of more navigable, smaller ship experience while having some of the cool perks. So we just had an incredible time. We did a 6-night cruise
Oh,
and
wow.
went down to Mexico, had a wonderful time on that one. Enjoyed all of the outdoor space, enjoyed our cabin, and the ship was rocking and rolling quite a bit though. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
it was the ship itself or the time of year, but ooh, we had a lot of motion, Bill. That was a crazy one.
You didn't miss any ports, though, did you? I mean, you got into all the ports,
No,
okay.
not this time. We
Did you
got
go
to
to
visit.
Cabo San Lucas on that one?
Yeah, we had a
Nice.
great time in Cabo. We did something different on that one. We actually went horseback riding, and that was fantastic. We went over to the Pacific side
Uh-huh.
and did a really nice horseback ride on the beach. Beautiful, relaxed kind of an excursion.
Right?
Very dramatic waves over there on the Pacific side of Cabo. It was just beautiful. Great,
Wow.
great trip.
Rayleigh Creative Travel says, hey, hey. Hey, hey, back to you.
Really?
Thanks for tuning
What's
in. Griffin
up?
and Alyssa are there. What's up, Bill and Sherry? Thanks, Griffin and Alyssa. Thanks for tuning in. That's so nice of them. Wow, cool. Have you been on the Carnival Panorama yet, Sherry? You
I
have.
have been on Carnival Panorama several times. We went last year twice,
Oh,
once in
wow.
September, once in December, and talk about a beautiful ship with a killer staff.
Sure.
Really good energy is just amazing on that ship, and so much good food. It's fantastic.
So if you could choose one dining experience on board the Carnival Panorama, yeah, it's hard to say, Panorama, what would you suggest it be? What would you recommend, the one dining venue on board?
That's a great question. There's
Yeah.
so many good choices on board, but I have to say that the steakhouse is a no-brainer on any Carnival ship, but for me, it's Bonsai Sushi and Teppanyaki on that ship. The sushi and teppanyaki venues are separated out into two different restaurants there,
Uh-huh.
but I really like Bonsai Sushi. Now, this is a girl who doesn't eat raw fish,
Oh,
so
wow.
it's mostly for me, it's the rolls, the Japanese food, the noodle bowls. They do such an incredible job, and there's something just so special about the service. So that'd be my number one recommendation. People get in there, enjoy the service, and if you'd like to do the teppanyaki, that's a totally different reservation across the corridor, but they're both just fantastic.
And the steakhouse too is phenomenal on Carnival. I mean, the just food is just.
Oh,
And apart from that, entertainment, of course, entertainment is a major factor for guests sailing on cruises. What entertainment offerings are the most that you have drawn to about Carnival Cruise Lines? Is it the live shows? Is it the intimate, trios on board? What really draws you to Carnival in terms of the entertainment?
when I think about the Carnival entertainment, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the Fun Squad.
Uh
So
huh.
it's the cruise director, the cruise
Yep.
director staff, it's the sail away parties, the deck parties, the dancing. I mean, there's no cruise line where you get that kind of energy. And if you get a really incredible cruise director leading that cruise, you're going to feel that Fun Squad energy through the whole voyage. So for me, that's my favorite. Of course, I love the production shows and things, but I got to hand it to the Fun Squad on Carnival for
So when I was
sure.
a cruise director on Carnival, years ago, on the original Mardi Gras, they weren't called Fun Squad back then. They were called Cruise Staff. But back then, the cruise staff on Carnival were also entertainers. So it wouldn't be uncommon for the person selling bingo cards to be the male vocalist in the main show that evening, or the magician or the juggler. We all had dual roles back then, which was quite unique because the guests would interact with us at the various activities, and then that evening they would go, "Oh, there he is on stage," and they would clap. That's how I started my career as a magician on board ships. I wasn't very good as a magician, but I was good interacting with the guests, and they liked me, so they clapped anyway. Occasionally I would do a card trick, or that was it. But no, it was a great time. But Carnival is near and dear to me because I grew up with that cruise line. So yeah, it's a
That
great
is so cool.
great.
On my first cruise, Bill, I think my first cruise was in 1991. I'm pretty sure it was 91, and I think it was on Carnival Ecstasy. I went with my mom and my brother,
Uh
and
huh.
I remember what you're saying. It was maybe not quite as far back as you're talking about, but the um the staff really did rotate positions.
Yeah.
Like the shore excursion staff would be doing entertainment or exercise classes another time, and it was a really different time. Like the crew really multitasked in
Oh
so many
yeah.
different days. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that'd be so fun, but how exhausting to be wearing all those different hats.
Yeah, no, it was. And then we would do the bridge tour. Now they don't let you on the bridge unless it's under special circumstances. But the bridge was wide open back then. They would take, hundreds of people on the bridge to show them how they operated the ship. That was quite fun. If you could go back in time to your first cruise, Sheri, and give yourself a tip, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I think it would have to be to just surrender a little bit to the cruise experience and not to plan everything. I remember on my first cruise I went on with my husband, which was like 2003. So we're going to count it as my kind of my second first cruise. I remember doing so much research that I had like knew what was going to be for dinner every night in the main dining room. Like I studied
Uh-huh.
the menus. I over prepared. And I think there's something to be said for letting the magic happen on a cruise. Now, I'm a big planner. I love to, I like to film my packing
Uh-huh.
experiences and
Uh-huh.
create videos about all of that stuff. But I also think that you need to leave some time to do nothing. And
Right.
secondly, I think it's also just so important to get out and explore the areas that you're visiting, whether it's on a
Sure.
cruise excursion or if it's more on your own. Don't just walk around the port. For the most part, that's not going to show you the true culture of the area.
Right.
Um, especially in places like Alaska, where you can go do a sled dog experience or visit a glacier or take
Yep.
a rail tour, right? In Mexico, finding ways to eat the local food and spend time with the locals, go to local beaches. And it
Yep.
doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money, but use cruising as an opportunity to see the world and travel the world and really experience those different cultures and people.
Get up close with the cultures. Yeah, no, no, I agree. And the shore excursions that are offered on board are also quite good. I mean, many of them are offering, interesting experiences in the ports. But to go ashore and just meet the locals is a wonderful experience. Cocktails on a cruise ship are also a fun way to enjoy the day and night on board. What is your craziest cocktail you've had on any cruise line? And do you remember the name of it?
My craziest cocktail. Okay. On my last cruise on Carnival Miracle, they have an alchemy bar now on that ship. They added it a few renovations ago, and I love the alchemy bar, but I wanted to try something different.
Uh huh.
So I asked the bar staff to serve me up the quick fix.
Quick. What is the
And
quick fix?
the quick fix, I know. She looks at me and she's like, "Are you sure you want it? It has absinthe in it, Pernod absinthe, which I guess is basically like a very licoricey flavor. And then they put all kinds of other stuff in it, like Midori and Sprite." So I told her, like, let's just go for it. I'm not a big black licorice
Uh
fan,
huh.
but I
Uh huh.
want
Uh
I
huh.
want to have tried every single cocktail at the Alchemy Bar, and it was very licoricey. If you've ever had absinthe, it's just super super pungent and strong, very unique flavor. I will not order it again, but I think it has to be the wackiest tasting um, drink that I've ever had. Alana in the chat knows what I'm talking about. She's like, "Ooh, a quick fix." Yeah, it was
Yeah.
strong
Well,
but
this is
sweet,
a
Alana.
quick
Yeah,
fix. Sounds strong. A lot of people don't
yeah.
know you live in Los Angeles, right, Sherry? I mean, you are moments away from the cruise port there in San Pedro. So for you to hop on a ship, it's what? How far are you from your house? Half
I'm
hour,
a
40 minutes?
few hours north. I'm
Oh,
on the
you are.
central
Okay.
coast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the central coast of California. So for me to get to to Long Beach or
Uh
San
huh.
Pedro, depending on traffic, it's 2 to 3 hours, which is not
Okay.
bad at all.
Okay.
So yeah, I love my West Coast cruises.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, I'm here in Delray Beach, which is about 35 minutes from the Port of Palm Beach, about 35 minutes from the Port of Fort Lauderdale, and about an hour on a good day to Port of Miami. So a lot of boats around me, a lot of cruising. If
Yeah.
if you could cruise anywhere in the world by cruise ship, one destination, where would it be?
Oh, you're making me pick one.
Yep, only
Okay.
one.
Well, I have to go back to my original dream destination. So I
Okay.
will tell you a secret that is going to make me seem so old. You guys are going to find out how old I really am now. Next year in 2023, my husband and I are celebrating our 25-year wedding
Oh,
anniversary.
fantastic!
And
Congratulations.
thank you. And we wanted to honeymoon in Tahiti in her
Nice.
islands, and we never did. So I
Uh
have to
huh.
say, still the dream. And it still feels so far away to me, but I think that's the true dream. There's other places I'd love to go. I'd love to go to Antarctica, both for my son and myself, to see those places.
Uh-huh.
My
Yep.
husband is really itching to go to Northern Europe. We're certainly, we love all of the cruise destinations that we've been to. We definitely want to go back to Asia and Japan.
Sure.
That
When it
was
opens.
some of the most special time we've ever spent on a
Yeah.
cruise. And so, yeah, there's so many.
So where are you cruising next? Your next cruise that you have lined up right now?
We haven't announced anything yet, but I will
Okay.
tell you, I will give you a little a Bill Panoff exclusive
Okay,
teaser.
here we go. Listen, guys, everybody.
Yes.
Dun, dun,
And
dun,
now,
dun.
yeah, our next cruise, if all goes well, it will be back on Princess Cruises.
Ah, okay.
Yay!
Okay.
I've missed Princess. We've cruised the most with them out of all the lines, so excited about that. And there's so many exciting new builds, right?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I have a very interesting desire to cruise with Explorer Journeys, the
Yeah,
new
me
sort of,
too.
yeah,
That's
right,
the luxury division of MSC Cruises. Yeah, she'll be coming out, I believe, the end of next year, from what I remember.
yeah.
Yeah, she looks phenomenal. And Norwegian has a new ship coming out called the Prima, which will be launched, I think, in the next month or so. And they actually sent me this box. I have to show you this. I don't know what it is, but it says Norwegian Prima
Ah,
on it. And on the side, it says top secret. So I think someone told me it's a safe, but you can't open the safe unless they send you the email a week prior to the sailing with the code. So I'm sitting here
oh,
with a box that I can't open. So, but that's
that is so
exciting.
fun.
That's going to be a new class of ship. So I think she's sailing from Iceland, from what I remember, on her maiden voyage.
What I love about Prima as well, and the direction that they're taking with that class of ship too, is that it's a smaller profile of ship. It is not getting bigger. It's going back to those beautiful sort of um, mid-sized ship roots.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Yep. Any questions from anyone online for Sheri? In the comments here, we've got Raphael, we got Palmer, we got Karen. Any questions about cruising? You were with the right person, Sheri. I
I
think
see
Sheri
that
and
Rayleigh has a question. Rayleigh
oh yeah,
Creative
Palmer
Travel.
wants it. Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead, Sheri.
Yeah, is that okay? Rayleigh Creative Travel. Hi, Blaine. Says any plans to sail Carnival Celebration when she starts sailing will be on November 21st. Can't wait to see Celebration. I would really love to go on Celebration because one of my very favorite cruise directors is going to be on that ship,
Ah, who's that?
and that would be Lee Mason.
Oh yes, he is good. He is
He
good.
is so good, and
Yep.
so I hope so. I would love to do that.
Palmer at home wants to know, Sheri and Bill, have either you cruised out of Australia or New Zealand? I have not, but that is on my bucket list. How about you, Sheri?
I have not cruised out of Australia or New Zealand, but I have visited both, and
Uh
I would
huh.
love to cruise. It was an unbelievable trip. I was 16 and spent a month over there with my parents,
Oh well.
and we went to both coasts of Australia, and then we went to the South Island of New Zealand. And one of my dreams is to go back so that I can go to Milford Sound. My parents went on a boat tour of Milford Sound, and I thought I was so cool and wanted to stay back at the hotel as a teenager and do something more fun. And now the old lady in me wants to go see Milford Sound.
Oh, there you
So, yeah,
go.
I'd sure love to do that. That'd be so cool.
And Antarctica, you haven't been. I have been. I would recommend that tour. We went on Atlas Ocean Voyages, which was phenomenal. And yeah, I would carve out some time for that for you and your husband.
That looked like the best adventure, Bill.
Yeah.
And I know my son, he's 13. He really wants to do that and see the penguins. I was actually looking at some princess cruises.
Uh huh.
Um, and all the balconies and mini suites for this winter are
Yeah.
sold out on
Oh
the
wow.
Antarctica. They look like they're really popular.
Wow. Wow. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure having you on, and I really appreciate it. It's always great to see you, and maybe one day we'll see each other in person. It's been a couple of years since I saw you over here. I think it was at Sea Trade in Miami. Was
Yeah,
the
I
last time we were
haven't
together.
since last September at Sea
Yeah.
Trade. So hopefully we'll see you again, Bill, and then it's going to be our pleasure to have you on our podcast
Oh,
soon
I would
too.
love. I look forward to it. I think it's coming up. Tell the
Yeah.
folks how they can find you online. Of course, on YouTube, and you're on all the social platforms. But tell us a little bit about that for people who don't know.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we're at Cruise Tips TV everywhere. So youtube.com/Cruise Tips TV, Instagram, Facebook, and our podcast is called Cruise Tips TV Unplugged.
Unplugged.
And I've invited Bill to come back on the podcast. And Bill, I'm gonna surprise you right now with this, but I
Okay.
have an idea for a podcast topic. Can I run
All
it
right.
past you really quickly
Sure.
live?
Let's
Okay.
let's everyone listen.
Okay, so I want to know what you think about this. What if we do a podcast on things you cannot do on a cruise ship anymore, but that you used to be able to do,
I
like
love it.
ski sh-
I
Can
love
we
it.
do that?
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I love it.
Okay, that's our
That's a
topic.
great one. I could go on for hours about that. But yeah, yeah, for sure. That would
Okay,
be
let's do
awesome.
it.
So
Great.
what do you know when that will be aired so we can let everyone know? If
I'm
we're just
pretty sure that it will be if you and I are going to record it next week. I think
right.
it's going to air the week after, so it should air the third week of August, and I will tag you on social when we publish it and make sure that it gets out everywhere in
Oh,
your
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Sheri, and thank you all for tuning in. If you have any comments, you can just chat with us on YouTube or Sheri on YouTube or social. We're happy to answer all your questions, and thank you all for being here today. It's a pleasure chatting with you, Sheri, as always, about the cruise industry. And don't forget Cruise Tips TV. That's the place to be. I'm Bill Panoff, and thanks for tuning in to our YouTube Live at Cruise Control. Happy cruising. See you soon.